Friends, here's a wartime Shabbat message that is dedicated to Am Yisrael, all the soldiers, all the people sacrificing their lives. And please God, may they continue to live. To all the families who need comfort, to all whose lives are lost, may their memories be for a blessing, and may their neshamas have an aliyah. Hashem yikum damam. So what do we need to do right now? How can we take Shabbos to another level? The word for war, I first saw this idea from Rav Machlis, who is a master at what I want to share with you. The word milchama, war, has three letters that are its root. Lamed Chet and Mem. And those three letters form a completely other word called lechem. Lechem is bread. What is the connection between war and bread? Of course, war is about survival to a certain extent. The Jewish people are in a war of existential survival. But more than that, on a deeper level, what does lechem represent? I want to go back to a story in the Torah to illustrate this with Yosef and his brothers. And it says that the brothers were unable to, lo yachlu dabru l'shalom. They weren't able to speak to their brother Yosef in peacefulness, in a sense of shlemut. There was no communication. The brothers had issues with Yosef. Yosef maybe had issues with the brothers, but nobody spoke. There was just hatred and division. And what happened is, as Yosef is thrown into the pit, about to be sold, what are the brothers doing during that moment? They're sitting there, vayeshvu le'echol lechem. They're eating bread, watching their brother be in a pit. That's what divisiveness does. Bread unites, but bread can unite groups against each other. And this is the archetypal example of a lack of Jewish unity. And what's the remedy? So many, many moons later, when Yosef is in a position of power, and he's the opportunity to be even more divisive to his brothers, they're coming and begging for mercy because there's a famine in Eretz Yisrael, and they're coming to Egypt begging their brother, who they don't know is their brother, for bread, for resources. What happens instead? Yosef doesn't perpetuate the division by dividing bread. What he does is, he brings them in. He says, Vayomer, simu lechem, serve the meal, serve the bread. And that is when the brothers ultimately unite. And that is, of course, a metaphor and a promise that Am Yisrael needs to unite over bread. The message for all of us is, especially on Shabbat, as Rabbi Nachman says, hachnas orchim kehachnas Shabbos. Bringing in guests is like bringing in Shabbos. It's a part of Shabbos. It's a part and parcel of being in Shabbos, is to unite through bread and bring guests into your home. We know that knasas orchim is greater than receiving the divine presence. Am Yisrael needs the divine presence. Am Yisrael needs the divine presence in this war more than anything. The divine presence is most felt when hachnasas orchim, when guests come in, because that implies unity. When you have somebody at your table, you're uniting with them. You're able to sit with them. The brothers weren't able to do that, and when they finally were, with Yosef's gesture, peace came. Am Yisrael was united as 12 tribes. We need that more than ever today. This is called, as Rav Kook says, avas chinam, baseless love. Reaching out beyond ourselves to bring people in. And also, if there's somebody, God forbid, that you're in conflict with right now in Am Yisrael, call them up and break bread with them. Bake bread, not war. Do that within Am Yisrael, and we will see, please God, a geula shlema and a peace within the greater fight against our enemies. This is the most important thing we can do as Am Yisrael. Aside from all the practical things that we need to do in this milchama, the fight over lechem, we need to unite over lechem. So Shabbat Shalom, please Hashem, help us with love and real goodness, unite over bread.